Amen. I had only pretty much one chore growing up, and my mom probably wouldn't like me to admit that. She tried to inflict me with other chores, but really only one stuck, and it was taking out the garbage. Anyone here that's still your chore, taking out the garbage? It's been a real thrill, I must admit, now that Zion's 8. I've passed it on to the next generation, and like I've already used the phrase that my dad said, and of course it was great. Like I remember, like, Dad, why do I have to mow the lawn? And he's like, son, why do you think I raised you? It's such a great line, isn't it? And I've already inflicted my 8-year-old. Dad, why? Why do we think I raised you, son? Why do you think we had you? To work for us. You know? But it was kind of my one chore, taking out the garbage. And it's embarrassing to admit this. And look, let me just preface this by saying it's not that I'm afraid of the dark. I just prefer the light. Anybody else prefer the light? I mean, your preference is light. Is that wrong? Should I be ashamed of that? I don't prefer total darkness. And those that do, I am concerned for you. I am a person of the light. So, garbage, it was always garbage night, because early the next morning, the garbage man would come. And so it was my job to, empty all the garbages in the house and then put them in the garbage bins and usher the bins to the street corner. This is where things get a little bit embarrassing. Because I preferred the light, and it was typically right before I went to bed, and it was dark. And I might add, in the Northwest, it can get very dark. I oftentimes would take out the garbage in very odd ways. For instance, it usually started with opening the garage, preparing myself emotionally. You can do this. You're 18. Stuff like that. Pep talks like that. You're 6 foot tall. You can do this. I was convinced, though, that there were bad guys lurking in the bushes and in the darkness, and I have a vivid imagination. Bear with me, okay? So this would literally happen. I would carry the 2 bins, and I don't know why we do this, and maybe you've done this before, but I made lots of noise because I felt like that would scare the bad guys away, I'm like, shout to the Lord, all the earth, let us sing. That was the song we were singing back then. And, I'm just like, I'm bad. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Literally, I see you. Have you ever done that? Like, I know you're here. You walk into a house that's empty. I know you're here. Come out right now. I've done it, friends, okay? You can just leave me out here all by myself, but I know some of you have too, you people who prefer the light. So I'd make a lot of noise, and I'd finally, get the bins out. We're talking 40 yards at max, right, to the end of the driveway. Not even that, to be honest. But anyways, I'd get the bins to the street corner, and then I have to say, this is when I ran my fastest. I just wish they would have timed these 40-yard dashes. I could have gone to the NFL Combine. I would turn, and like electricity shot through my body, because there's something about it. I would be convinced that they were lurking, watching, and then when I placed the bins and turned to the house, that's when the bad guys were going to pounce. And that's when my fear got to its climactic state, and it was like an electrical pulse went through my body, and I just panicked and ran back into the garage, and I'm scrambling to press the garage door because I'm convinced the bad guy's going to slip under the door. Okay, this really happened. Don't laugh at my pain. I'm really, really telling you the truth. I'm 20 years old, and I'm running a 4-flat 40 to get back to the garage and press the button. But what's amazing is that sometimes I would, trick and manipulate my friends to do it with me. And I was a completely different person if my friend was with me. Completely chatting it up. I do this all the time. And, kind of scare him a little bit. Oh, you scared, buddy? You're a scaredy cat. Hopefully no one videotaped me the night before, But of course what it is, or wherever you've been, whatever the setting, situation, circumstance, we've all probably been scared a time or two when we're alone. But you just put one other warm body in that situation that you know is at least somewhat friendly, and all of that fear seems to subside. It's amazing. It's the human condition. It's the power of presence. It's the power of knowing that somebody's there. And what's amazing to me is that it could be a very tiny, itty bitty person, a small person, a mere child, but just to have another warm body somehow brings some of your fears and your terrors and your imaginations calm down and subside, because you're not alone and someone is with you. Well, look, God knows. It's that verse, God knows that we're dust. Like, he knows the human condition. He knows it in and out. He knows that when we get alone, we often get afraid, especially when we're alone and it's dark. We get afraid. Now, dark sometimes physically, literally, and dark sometimes situationally in our circumstances. Things are bleak and dark and challenging and we're alone. The human condition is capable of extraordinary terror and fear and anxiety and these things that weigh on our heart and our mind. But just having somebody in the room